In this question, we know that the triangles ABC and CDE are going to be similar triangles. And so we're asked, what is the value of the angle ACD? And so if we just look at what we have here, we know there's a 90-degree angle down in this corner in DEC. So in the triangle on the right, we've got 90 degrees. And that is always going to be opposite the hypotenuse, so the longest side. And the longest side in the triangle on the left is clearly going to be this side here. And so we know that this angle is going to be 90 degrees. And so that's the first thing I'd always do, is just make sure that you have all your right angles labeled in the question. And therefore, we also know that this angle up here is going to be 65 degrees, so the angle up at A. And so to find this angle, we can also, basically, we've got the other two angles in our triangle now, so we can just find that via subtraction. And so I'm just going to call that the angle X. So X is going to be 180 degrees, because there's 180 degrees in every triangle. Minus 65 minus 90, because these are our two known angles, and so the value of the angle X is going to be 25 degrees. So that's our first angle that we know. And to continue with this, we basically need to identify which angles on the right are equal to our angles in our left hand side triangle, because we know all the angles we have over here on the left. So basically this is going to require a little bit of visual kind of analysis. In the exam, you might be given more information just to cut out any level of interpretation here. But essentially, we know that the second longest side on the left is going to correspond to the second longest side on the right in terms of the similar triangles. And we can see that the angle X is in between our hypotenuse and our second longest side. So that means that the angle X on the similar triangle on the right is just going to be this one in here. So yeah, this basically requires us to look at the side lengths to identify which of these two angles on the right are going to be the correct one for a value of X, which we know is 25 degrees. And so what that means is, if we were to just call this angle in here the angle Y, we know that the two angles X and the angle Y has to be equal to 180, because they form a straight line. And so therefore, to find Y on its own, we just need to take 180 and subtract 2X, which is going to be 180 minus 2 times 25, or 180 minus 50, which is going to be 130. So our final value for this angle is going to be 130 degrees.